Welcome, people. You know who it is. You know what it is. This the Real Rich Bees channel. And we're back. Why are we back? Because we have more to discuss. We are on our way to being the best version of ourselves, right? Let me take a second to, before we really get into it, right? I wanna give a shout out to everybody who came on the stream this weekend, right? This weekend was awesome. If you haven't followed, if you haven't, subscribed over on twitch.tv/ the real rich bees, right? On Twitch, okay? If you haven't subscribed or followed right there, you're missing something. Your life is missing something. I'm just gonna tell you that, because we had a time this weekend. It was off the hinges. You know what I'm saying? We just took the door and off the hinges. You know what I'm saying? So why am I saying that? Because this weekend we literally created a new song live that's gonna go on my fifth album. Okay, on my fifth album. We're starting the process of doing that. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I want you guys to be a part of this album. Okay, I want all of you who watch to be a part of this album. How? Because you can be a part of the creation process. How can you be a part of the creation process? By making sure that you follow me and subscribe on twitch.tv. Okay, so make sure you do that. Go to this name right here. If you're already here streaming me live now, wonderful. But I'm saying this for my people who are watching me on YouTube, okay? I want to get them over here too, so that way they can be a part of this, because you're not going to be able to be a part of it on YouTube, the part that I'm making the album. You're not going to be able to be a part of that, okay? Unless you go to Twitch. Why? Because on Twitch, when I go live, you'll be notified, okay? You'll be notified. And when I stream for the album, I'm doing that at nights and on weekends, okay? So if I stream anytime at night or anytime on the weekend, that's the content that you'll see from this channel, okay? You're not going to see what we normally talk about, how we have these subjects and we're trying to become a better version of ourselves. We're actually putting foot to gas pedal and doing something to put it out there, okay? Because if you listen to any of my music, then you'll know that this is the same type of this is how I am. So when I deliver a rap, or when I'm in there making beats and stuff like that, it's all with this understanding, the understandings that we have and that we come up with while we're here in this window, right? While we're in this window, these are the understandings and by which I give my raps, right? By which I deliver content in the form of rap, okay? Now, make sure that you do that. Make sure you do that. If you've never heard any of my songs, if you're new to this channel and you've never heard any of my music, here's what you can, here's where you can find it. Go over right now to richbees.com/links. And that way you can listen to the song on whatever platform that you listen to music on, okay? Listen, not the song, but any songs that I've done up to this point with the first 4 albums and all the singles I released, okay? Now, I'm saying that because on album 5, what are we going to do? We going to get into some new understandings. I'm going to do music in a way that I never did before, which is in front of people, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I've performed my music before in the past. I've done shows and stuff like that. But right now, what I'm talking about is actually making songs from scratch, right? Now, understand that a lot of times when I make music, I don't use samples and stuff like that. I just make it, okay? So what you hear most of the time is stuff that I've made. I've hardly ever used samples. If I do, they're really rare, and it's really, I really kind of don't do that. I make up something, okay? Now, I may go for a feel. Anyway, I'm not talking about music today because that's not why we're here, right? But I did want to let you know that because of the way I'm going to be streaming. So no, if you come on here in the evenings, or once you come over to the Twitch, you'll see me stream in the evening. You'll see me stream on the weekends, and I'm going to be working on music on those times, okay? That's when I'll be working on music. Unless I'm at a shoot, I might get on IRL style and let y'all see if I'm like on set and we shooting a movie or whatever, because that's coming very soon too. Okay, but I really want to put some time into getting this album done. And we just started. We only did one song. Okay, we recorded one song live. It was a almost 6 hour stream, and we basically finished the bones and everything. It didn't get mixed and mastered and stuff like that. It was just boom. This is the song itself. Okay, we did the intro to the album. That's what we did on Saturday. Okay, so now we're back on our regular topic, right? We're back on our regular topic. What are we talking about? If you've seen the title, we have a really good question. And this is something that came up because I don't know. I keep hearing this, okay? I keep hearing this. What am I hearing? I'm hearing when I went to church, right? Over the last couple of weeks, I've heard this topic. Well, not this topic, but a different way, right? That they communicated this same type of topic. And I've heard it on a movie I just watched. Well, it wasn't a movie. It was a documentary, but it was a reenactment of a documentary, okay? And I'll tell you what it was and what the documentary was in a second. I've been a part of conversations that dealt with this topic. This topic is really serious because I don't think people realize how serious it is until it actually matters, okay? Everybody wants it, but they don't realize how serious it is for you to be it. And you know, on this channel, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about being, right? Becoming, right? Putting forth the best effort we can to be the best version of ourselves. And that takes doing it, showing up, right? Showing up. We've talked about that. We said that a little bit. We talked about, showing, how do you want to show up? Okay. So we're going to work this topic. Okay. If you notice the title, if you don't see the title, don't worry about it, because I'm going to tell you what it is in a second. But there's a lot of people out there who want what? Trust, right? That's one of the first things they want. They want trust, right? Then they want opportunities. They want love. They want support, right? They want respect, right? These are all the things that people want. These are the things that people desired, right? But it's all encompassed into one main thing, though. And when you think about what that is, it's the question of the day. It's the question of the day. What is the question of the day? The question of the day is, can people count on you when it's time? Can people count on you when it's time? Are you a person that can be counted on? Okay? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I told you that I ran into this topic at church, right? That was one of the places that I've heard this type of topic. And what they really kind of leaned into was, are you solid? Okay? They said, are you solid? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the theme of the year for the church, okay? Are you solid? And that goes right into this topic, right? That can people count on you? Some people are only solid or can be counted on when it's convenient for them, right? I know you know that. Come on, chat. Remember, we don't play no games. We're honest in here. Are you that? Are you one of the people who are only solid when it's convenient for you? Because if that is the case, we're going to try to fix that today. Okay, we're going to try to address that. I can't fix it for you. You have to fix it for yourself. You have to go inside and look at, ask yourself the question, am I solid, right? We're going to get into more of the questions that you ask yourself later. You know how we do. But right now, think about that. Okay, keep that in your mind, right? People are good when nothing is being required of them, right? They're good when there's no pressure. They're good when it's easy, right? They're good when it's easy. But when it's time, when the chips are down and all kinds of things are happening, and you looking around you, who's really there? The people who are solid, because the people who aren't, right? Majority of them will disappear, right? Like, and let me repeat that because I think my camera froze. I think my camera froze. So let's repeat that, okay? When people, when all the chips are down and it's going down, right? People want to know, are the people around me solid? Are they with me, right? Because when you look around and you trying to figure out what's going on, right? You need some help, right? Something's happening. Everybody's gone, right? A lot of people just poof, right? John Cena on them. You can't find them. You know what I'm saying? They've disappeared, and that's crazy, right? That's crazy, and that's why I'm saying, like, are you that type of person? I hope not. I hope not, because if you on this channel, we not that. We solid. You know what I'm saying? We're solid. Why are we solid? Right? Why can people count on us? People can count on us, right? Because, see, boy. You thought you was gonna get the answer already. I was gonna do it too. I was gonna do it. I can feel it. I can feel it. But I don't want to do that yet. So yeah, you can laugh all y'all want to. I know you laughing right now because you thought, oh, I'm about to get it right now. You about to drop it. No, buddy. No, buddy. I was gonna do it, and I had to catch myself. I had to catch myself. So what we know is that everybody, right, wants to be chosen. Everybody wants to be on everybody's team, right? But to be chosen, you got to be dependable, right? Everybody wants to be the person that somebody trusts, right? But trust is built on, can somebody count on you, right? Can they count on you? Because I don't think people really understand how real it gets, right? You may have dealt with it. I mean, I think a lot of people see it when they're the ones who need someone, right? That's when you understand what it's about. But if you're not the one who needs someone, but somebody else is, what does that mean? Now you have to stand up, right? You have to be the person that they're trying to count on. Are you solid? Right? Are you gonna be the person that people are looking for and you disappeared, right? Poof. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're part of this channel, that's not what we doing. We not doing that. We showing up, holding it down. You know what I'm saying? That's what we on. So I guess if you really ask yourself that question, right? Can people count on you? Then if we look at the definition of solid, right? I'm trying to think right now. What are the words that we need to define, right? What are the words that we need to define that give us more understanding of people can count on us? Or does it even need to be defined? If you understand what it is, if this is an easy topic, put it in the chat. Say, yo, I got that. I understand what, being a person that's I'm shying away from using the word accountable, because accountable is one thing, but solid is another, right? You know what? That might be the difference. So let's see if there's a difference in those two. How about that? Because if we can see if there's a difference in those two, accountable and solid, then I guess we can surmise, like, what does it mean to show up, right? What does it mean to stand on or be a help, right, to someone who's in need, because you're showing sympathy, right, for their situation, um, or empathy because you've been through their situation. So I think I think I think we need to really know that all of this is bigger than just being physically present for someone, right? Because showing up doesn't mean that it's in the physical, right? That that's not necessarily showing up for someone, right? It's not just, were you in the room when it was going down, right? It's did you show up with your character? Did you show up with your effort? Did you show up like when people needed the real version of you, right? Did you show up with um discipline? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we've talked about these topics, right? We talked about these topics, good enough, right? Discipline, right? Is better than motivation, right? Um, and I think as I'm thinking about this, I think, okay, let's go ahead and look up the word solid versus accountable. Okay, let's figure out the differences in those. So let's see if we can pull the desktop, right? Let's see if we can pull the desktop. Let's see. Bow. All right, is it movable? Wonderful. All right, so remember we talked about reaction before, but okay, so let's go to we said accountable, right? Accountable. Let's see what that is. Accountable, subject to the obligation to report, explain, or justify something. Responsible, answerable, capable of being explained, exclaimable, explainable, explicable. Oh, that's explicable. What am I talking about? And explainable. Okay, so accountability is more so um telling something, right? Even though it does have responsible there, but I feel like that like subject to the obligation to report, right? Report meaning to say something, explain, right? Give an explanation of something, justify something, right? That's being accountable, right? Answerable. If somebody says something, you can give them an answer, right? Okay. So then let's go versus solid, right? What does solid mean? All right, so solid, having three dimensions, length, breadth, and thickness as a geometrical body or figure, right? Of or relating to bodies or figures in three dimension, having the interior completely filled up, free from cavities or not hollow. I like that part. Having the interior completely filled up. Are you solid? Without openings or breaks. There you go. Without openings or breaks. Firm, hard, or compact in substance. Firm, hard, or compact in substance, right? Having relative firmness, coherence of particles, or persistence of form as matter that is not liquid or gaseous, right? Pertaining to such matter, dense, thick, or heavy in nature or appearance, not flimsy, slight, or light as buildings, furniture, fabric, food, substantial, right? Of substantial character, not superficial, trifling, or frivolous. I think we found it. All right, that's it. Of substantial character, not superficial, trifling, or frivolous. So I think based on what we've communicated up to this point, we're talking about substantial character, right? Can you be counted on? Meaning, can you show up with substantial character, right? Because you can be there physically in the room for a person, but you still don't show up for them, right? You can be there in the room with a person, but not be dependable, right? You can show up in your body, but your mindset or your effort is not there. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Can people count on you? Because showing up, here's because showing up is more than just your body, right? We said it's of substantial character, not superficial. So the body is showing up superficially. Of substantial character means that all the things we've talked about in all the other videos has to show up with your body. That would be being solid, right? And if you take it further, can people count on you would mean, like, will you stand up when it's time? Right? What time? Time of challenge, time of hardship, time of it's going down. You know what I'm saying? When the when, what they say, when the guns get to blowing. You know what I'm saying? When people start going fisticuff, right? When you stand up, right? When people are out there marching for a right that you should have, will you show up, right? Will you stand up? Because that's what makes you solid. Do you think that you need that right? Do you think that they need that right? Because sometimes it's not about whether you need it. Sometimes it's about whether somebody else needs it, right? So if you only show up when it's for you, then that's about you. If Do you show up when somebody else needs that right? Do you show up when somebody else needs that help? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what not only makes you solid, but that also is what is substantial character, right? That's integrity, right? We talked about those two. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is like let's put it together, because the things that we talked about before are all good individually, right? But when you start to put them together, that's when people start to realize, oh, that person's good. Oh, I know they're going to show up. You know what I'm saying? I know they're going to show up. I can count on them. They're going to be there. If it go down, they going to ride with me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's how we work. Okay? Example. So me and my family, um, and here's the thing. The crazy part is not all families can come together like that, right? But me and my family, we started, and this is one of the main reasons why I did this too. Um, but we went around the United States traveling, and helping small nonprofits in certain states with their mission, right? We would spend a day with them and help them do something. We drove from state to state, around the country, literally around the whole country. Go to the YouTube channel, right? youtube.com/teambees, right? TEAMBZ. And at that time, we did that. You know what I mean? We went around the country, did the thing, or whatever. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. Hold on 1 second. All right, people. My bad. My bad. You know, life. Right? I told y'all before, y'all gonna be on BRB if my family or my or anything that trumps this comes into my space. All right. So just so you know, um, let's. I just wanted to make sure that y'all knew that, because to me that means a lot. Right? Remember I told you it's about priorities, having things in a priority order. All right. So even though this is important to me, my family is more important. All right. So if they hit the door, if they, you know, um, give me a call or whatever, I answer. Because why? That's priority for me, right? I'm solid. I'm gonna show up. This is a prime example, right, of the topic. Come on. Come on. This is a prime example of the topic. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, and I just said it. We were just talking about it, right? Team B's, youtube.com/TEAMBZ. If you went there while we were on the BRB, you'll see that we did all of these videos, and we even included some when we were doing a lot of traveling. Okay. Why? Because who should you stand up for more than anything else? Your family, right? Your family. You should show up. You should be solid. They should be able to count on you, right? Through everything, they should be able to count on you. If it ain't, it doesn't matter the rest of the world, even though it does, right? People, you'll still feel a way. But the people who you should be able to count on should be your family. Okay? And that's just a fact. Especially your immediate family. Okay? And this matters in every part of your life. It's not just with, you know, when times get tough, but what about when it goes good? Right? It's going good, but you're trying to work on some new stuff, right? So that way it can help everybody else. Are you still solid in that way? Are you willing to be solid and help them come up to your level? Or are you just going to be on the level and you be like, oh, y'all calling me all the time trying to get money and all this other kind of stuff? Like, are you going to start? That's not being solid, right? And I'm not saying to let somebody leech on you. I'm saying help build them up. Help them with a way that can be creative, or with a way that they can produce revenue, because you do know, you've been on this stream for any given time, and you know how to help somebody else. Why? Because it's the model. I'm trying to make this really duplicatable. You can have these same conversations with your family. The same, you can, matter of fact, go back to my video, watch the video, take some notes, and then go give that talk to your family. In the middle of a conversation, when somebody starts talking about trust, you can just say, oh, well, boom, boom, boom. You can say the definition of it, go through the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? And build them up. This is duplicatable, right? Because I'm trying to make it where I'm solid. I'm solid for you guys. Y'all are showing up, you know what I'm saying, regularly when I come on live, when I post videos on YouTube, when I post the shorts, y'all are watching them, y'all are sending them to other people. So that's what building a community is about. And to be a productive community, everybody in that community needs to be solid. Because then it doesn't take many people to change the world. If you think about it, right? If you think about it, Jesus had 12 disciples, right? Really and truly, he had 11 that were solid. But even when you think about that, one of them said they didn't know him. Right? And he was he was the dude. He was like BFF status, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that this topic is throughout your whole existence, you will always deal with this topic, right? Because the question, can people count on you, means a lot. Can they count on you? It feels bad when you have someone that you thought that you can count on, and then in the midst of the challenge that you're going through, they don't show up. That feels bad, and I'm pretty sure everybody has felt that at least once in their life, right? You just knew this person would be there for you. You knew it. gave them a call. You went to their house. You know what I'm saying? And more than likely, you were showing up for them. More than likely, you were a rock in their life. But now that it comes back around and they ain't showing up, right? Or they're being very, like, I mean, I don't know, I can try. You know what I'm saying? What is that about? What is that about? And you don't want to be a butthole and be like, well, I showed up for you, so you need to show up for me. Because it ain't about that, right? If they don't want to show up, then you know who they are. Right? But right now, we're not talking about them, okay? We're not talking about them. We're talking about you. We're talking about you being the person that can show up. Okay? Because if anybody's ever told you that, man, I did that for you, man, but now you not. That points you to the fact that you might not be as solid as you think you are. You know what I'm saying? So let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. In business, right? People work most of the time only with people they can count on, right? Especially in business. In business, if they can't count on you, you about to lose that contract. You're gonna lose the contract, you might lose that job, you might, you know what I'm saying, get your pay docked, you might whatever, get on some kind of what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it. Like when they write up, right? You might get on some kind of write up, something like that. If you're not solid, if you don't show up, if people can't count on you, if the business cannot count on you, you're out. You're out of there. Why? Because they can't count on you. You don't come to work regularly. You taking off like, you taking off more than you working, right? You got a different excuse every day because you're showing up late. They can't count on you. But then you mad at them, right? You mad at the business because they fired you. Why? They couldn't count on you. They couldn't count on you to get the job done. Now it's different if you were getting the job done. If you were, you were on 100. Every day you came in there. You ain't never lacked. You was never late. You always showed up. You always did the thing. You made sure that the team was good. You made sure that the people was good. You were doing the thing. Then they fired you. Okay, you might have a reason to be pissed. Right? You might have a reason to be pissed. But if you are the one that people can't count on, how can you be pissed about it? You mad because they called on to your annex? Your sly talk. You know what I'm saying? You mad because they done caught up to all that stuff that you was doing? You know what I'm saying? And I said annex. The word is antics, right? Like, come on. Come on. Right? So in business, that's really serious. Especially if you're trying to run your own business. And I know a lot of y'all streaming on my channel have been wanting to build your own business, right? Own your own company, right? Be the controller of your fate. I know you do. So to do that, think about it. You got to be somebody people can count on. And I'm going to say this because there's a lot of business owners out there who, it's like I have to come in later and fix what they didn't do, even though they got paid already, right? So now that means that it's either I could tell people, no, I'm not going to do it, right? Because I need you to get to what I'm charging for it. Or I can say, I'll help you out because I don't really want people, you know what I'm saying, like my industry to get a bad name for people who don't show up, people who don't do the work that they got paid for. And so now I'm going to take a little bit lower make an invoice that's lower than the amount that I normally charge for it. Why? To help them out, right? To make them be able to at least get part of what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And of course I do it within measure, but the point still remains that I'm solid. And this is what makes it hard when you start looking at trying to connect with clients and clients are thinking that, oh, I'm going to pay you and then you're going to disappear, right? I'm going to pay you and then you're not going to do the work. That's trauma. Who's done you wrong? Who's done you wrong? Because probably, as it seems, for at least my business, a lot of people have done people wrong. I'm not that person. I am him. I'm the person who will do the work. I'm the person that's going to stand 10 toes down on what I told you I'm going to deliver, and I'm going to try my best, come hell or high water, to hit that deadline. Even if somebody else made you have to push it, the date that you have to have it by, if you gave me enough time, I'm coming for that deadline. I'm gonna put the work in. And honestly, that should mean I should probably charge a lot more because I know I'm gonna hit that deadline. And if I don't, we're gonna figure out what that looks like and how much I can deliver by that deadline. That's just how I operate, right? Why? Because that's just who I am. People can count on me, right? Especially in business. Now, if we go to relationships though, right? Because some of y'all think I'm solid in business. What about your relationships though? You know what I'm saying? Because people stay longer with people they can count on. If every time you get in a relationship, you're only in there for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, can people count on you? Are you solid? Right? You got to really think about that. In friendships, same thing, right? Can people confide in you and count on the fact that you're not going to go and just tell the rest of the neighborhood, all the friend group? You're not going to tell them behind closed door, be like, yo, and start, you know what I'm saying? Talking about them. You know what I'm saying? Can people count on you? Because that's what we're talking about, right? Can you be counted on when it's not for your benefit? Right? If you're a leader, can people follow you? Right? Can the people that follow you, can they count on you? It's the same thing with family, right? Same thing with family. Because peace grows when people can count on each other. If I know I can count on you, what are we arguing about? We're not probably going to argue much. I can count on you. I know you're going to understand me. You're going to hear me out. Even if we disagree, you're going to hear me out because you know still I'm a solid person. I'm not flaky. I'm not frivolous. I'm not just going to stay superficial with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be upfront and I'm going to be transparent with the ways that, I'm feeling. Not to your detriment, but to build you up. Because the whole point is for us to grow together, right? And I say this again, we can run it back. A rising tide raises all boats. And we're all ships, sometimes passing at night. But the point is that we're trying to get it right. We're trying to live a life that is one of prosperity, health, wellness, and being able to be the best version of ourselves right now, in the moment, right now. And so to do that, we got to constantly hear these type of things. That's why I'm doing this on a daily. I'm not doing this as a once a week type episodic thing. I'm every day. Why? Because every day we have to deal with something. Every day we need to understand more. Every day we need to grow a little bit more. Every day. It's not a oh, let me hear something, this week. Okay. People do this too. Let me go to church on Sunday, and then I'm not going to I'm not going to put any more into my spiritual growth or my understandings or anything. I'm not going to do anything else until next Sunday, and then you're going to give me another shot in the arm, right? That's what people do. However, it's the same thing when it comes to self-growth. Some people never put any time into it. They don't never look at anything that's about growth or bettering yourself, and not necessarily from the spiritual level, because that's one side, right? You have your body, which is your health, you have your spiritual, and you have your mental, right? This whole stream is roughly about your mental. Not necessarily spiritual, not necessarily biological. It's more so mental, right? Your mentality, the way that you believe you are, the way that you actually are, and the way that you show up is decision-based, right? It's decision-based and evidence. The way that you continue to do your habitual habits are the things that's going to make you believe that you're the person that's going to show up, that you're going to be the person that's going to do the thing. When the going gets rough, you're going to be the person that people say, yo, I need them. Yo, they with me. I know they're going to ride with me. Let's get this thing done. Whatever it may be, right? So one of the reasons why I even got to this topic was when I was watching this movie, right? And you know what? I want to pull up what's because I don't know what the actual title is. Let me see if I can find what the title is. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can find what the title is. Of I don't, let me see for um let me see. Oh, cause it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix. That's where I saw it. So hold up. Netflix. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Yeah. So this is a matter of fact. I'm gonna show you because I'm gonna put it up. Here we go. Let me see if I can. Let me see if it'll. All right. Yeah, this is it. All right. So I'm gonna put it on the screen. Here you go. This is what I watched. Right. Have y'all seen this? Have y'all seen this? This is called The Days. Right. The Days. This is the let's read the description, right? March 11th, 2011, 225 kilometers from Tokyo, a 15-meter high tsunami hits the Fukushima what is it called? Daiichi nuclear power station, damaging one of the cooling systems, right? And as you can see, I did watch every episode, right? And when I tell you that this is really, really good, I'm telling you right now, it's really, really good. Because why? You see what people are solid and what people are not. You see how people will okay, I'm trying to think of how to really get this across, because I don't really want to talk about it all the way, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm not reacting to it, right? But I do have a reaction to it, right? I'm not reacting to it, but I do have a reaction from it. And there were certain people who, you know, the going got tough, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether they were going to get radiation poison. It didn't matter that they might end up, dying or whatever, right? And they didn't do it just because it was their job. They were doing it because if they didn't control this nuclear reactor, their families who lived in Fukushima would be affected, right? And actually, it wasn't just in Fukushima. It was the whole center of Japan. I mean, of Japan, the island of Japan, right? That whole center part. If they didn't get it under control, there was going to be fallout that was worse than Chernobyl, nuclear fallout. So they had to try to get it under control. And so some people were like, I want to go home. I don't want to stay. You know what I mean? Like please let me go to the safe zone or whatever. They were trying to get out. Some people were like, even though they weren't even at work that day, they came in because they were like, oh no, I'm not. We're not gonna do this. I need to make sure that I'm helping. I need to make sure that we get this done. You know what I'm saying? And so those are the people who were solid. That you could count on them. Even when it got down to the end, and these people didn't even have like the person who was over the power station was like, yo, it's about to go critical, right? Well, not critical, it's about to go super critical, right? If it goes super critical, then this whole plan is gone, right? There's gonna be fallout in the hundreds of thousands of people across Japan, right? And so, based on how the temperature kept rising in the reactor, he's like, all of the young people, like the younger people, and people who are just supporting staff, they need to be able to evacuate. You know what I'm saying? They need to be able to evacuate and get away from here. We'll leave a skeleton crew, and we're gonna get it done. They looked around, and it was the people who were solid. It was the people who were solid. They were like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. We're gonna get this done. Like, it was, when I watched that, I was like, yo, am I that solid? You know what I'm saying? You start asking yourself the question, am I that solid? Could I, full knowing that at any time you can get radiation poison to the level that right now you'll still look fine. Right now you'll still be good. You'll feel fine. But in about a week or two, skin start burning and all kinds of stuff starts happening. You know what I'm saying? What do you do? What do you do? Because you know if it goes super critical, your family gonna get it too. Because the radiation just keeps going. And then here's the crazy part. I watched another movie. That was something just like it. And it was called matter of fact, it was at the bottom of this. Hold on. Yeah, and this is a good one. So this is one I'll recommend to you too. If watch the Fukushima one, right? Or it's called The Days on Netflix, and then watch this one. Watch this one over here. This one called Radioactive Emergency, right? Two men take a capsule from an abandoned hospital, triggering one of the worst radiological crises ever recorded, inspired by true events. Both of these are true stories, right? But this one is radioactive stuff too. It is wow. I watched the whole thing. This is great. Okay? This is great. But it's the same thing. Because this guy right here in this shot, he had the ability to walk away from doing the work, from doing the thing. And he was like, nah, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Who else is gonna do it? If I don't do it, who's gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? If I don't do it, who else is gonna do it? Right? This is gonna affect my family. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna affect the whole city. The whole city will be uninhabitable. Right? And this is the reason. Just because of that, he was able to end up by the end. Well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Go watch it, because I'm telling you right now, it was good. It was really good, really, really good. Both of them were really good. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, it is overdubbed, right? It's English overdubbed because they're speaking in their native tongue. I think the one on the radioactive emergency is in Spanish, and the Fukushima one is in Japanese, right? So you have to watch it with the English overdub. But after you get past the first, it don't really, because the story's so good. The chain of events that are happening are so captivating, right? And you want them to win. Even though I never heard what the outcome of either one of them were, right? How it ended. And I could have looked it up, but I didn't want to. I wanted to see how it played out. So watching it is like, yo, there's some people in here that's really down, right? They for it. And if this is based on true stories, right? Inspired by true events, then this is real life, people. There's people out there who have to put their life on the line. They got to show up for you. You don't even know them, right? You don't even know them. Because imagine, at the Fukushima one, if that plant would have went super critical, then radioactive particles would have been ejected into the jet stream. Where that jet stream coming from when it come from Japan? To the U.S. If you in the U.S. watching this right now, you'd have been affected. Right? If you in another part of the world, maybe you might have not been affected to that level. But if it hit that jet stream coming right over the U.S. Next. Coming up next. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reason why I'm saying, like, you don't even know those people. Those people don't even know you. But yet, they're showing up because they know if they don't, it can impact the rest of the world. For years to come. You know what I'm saying? It'll change the face of the globe. This is the reason by which we don't really use nuclear weapons like that. So, that's the reason why I'm saying, like, if you're wondering why certain opportunities, trust, certain respect, you know, people certain relationships, right, keep passing you by, this might be part of the reason. You know what I'm saying? Can people count on you? Because a lot of people do think that they're dependable, right? A lot of people think they're dependable because they mean well. But being dependable is not about what you meant. It's about what the pattern that you're doing proves, right? Does the pattern prove that you are dependable, that they can count on you, right? Because if you have ever overpromised and underdelivered, that could be a problem, right? That's not showing the pattern is not meshing with you saying that you're dependable, with you saying that they can count on you, right? If you say yes too fast and then disappear, you're like, oh yeah, I'll take care of that. Don't ever get taken care of, right? Or you only show it when you feel like it. That don't work either. That's not dependable, right? Your words always say, I'll do, I can, I will, I got you, all this other kind of stuff, right? But then there's no follow through. And this what really gets me. People be around there, trying to get all these titles, right? I need to be the headmaster, controller, chief operating executive of the, capital kingship of the bishopric, like all these titles, but you ain't even doing the responsibility. You don't want the responsibility. You want it when you can walk around and and you got everybody talking, oh, it's the so-and-so, it's the so-and-so, and they shaking your hand and all that kind of stuff. But what about the real work that title is supposed to make you have to be responsible for? What about that? You know what I'm saying? Because people want to be over something. They want to be a leader. They want to be in charge, right? They want to be in charge, but they don't want to do the work. That work is beneath me. The workers will do it. Yeah, but then what if you have to do a skeleton crew like the Fukushima team did, right? Or what if you have to do like on radioactive emergency where the guy who's over the, I guess you can call him the CDC in that country. I guess it would be called the CDC. But if that guy, he's over it, he's the head of it, but he didn't send other people. He came himself. Boots on the ground, did the work, stayed there the whole time. The whole time it was going down, he stayed there. Made sure that he managed it. Made sure that he had to do the things that he had to do to help the situation. You know what I'm saying? Not just all talk. He went and did the work. Right? Because you can't want people to just trust you off intention. They trust you off evidence. Right? They trust you off your pattern. Right? What is the pattern of the things that you've been doing? What is the pattern of the things that I can see? Right? Because that is what you can't fake. You can't fake the pattern. It's either you are or you're not. It's either you're showing the evidence or you don't. Right? Because people know whether they can count on you by what keeps happening around you. Right? Are you on time? Do you do what you said you would do? Do people keep checking on you? Right? Do they have to keep checking on you? Hey, did you get that done? Hey, what about the... Right? Did you finish what you started? Right? When it gets hard, are you unfindable? You know what I'm saying? Are you unreliable? Because one thing I don't like is having to chase somebody down who agreed to do the thing. I can't stand that. That's something that pisses me off, right? People who come in and they say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do boom, 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 right? Or whatever. And then you gotta chase them down to get it done? They already agreed. They agreed to do the thing. And then I gotta go call them. Hey, did you check on? Hey, did you do? Hey, what about the? You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if it happens one time because, they got a little, overwhelmed with whatever they had going on and they just kind of forgot. But it's a different thing because we're talking about patterns here, right? Because can people count on you is not just once, it's a pattern. Can they count on you? Right? Because if people always have to wonder where you are or what you're doing when it's time to do the thing, they're gonna stop. They're gonna stop trusting you. They're gonna stop counting on you. They're gonna say you're not solid. Right? And this is what I'm saying, like, all of this stuff that we talked about thus far goes together. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't start, remember I told you to start now, right? If you don't start, then nobody can count on you because you didn't even start anything, right? You didn't even try to do anything, right? You just sitting there at the house, not doing nothing. You ain't even start nothing. So who can count on that? What can you even try to put out there as a reason by which somebody can count on you? You didn't start anything, right? I told you all these things connect. Everything we talked about connects to this topic because this is huge. This is huge. And most of the things we're going to be talking about coming soon are all huge. Why are they huge? Because this is where we connect all the dots of the things we've already talked about. This is the keys. The keys were the things that we've already talked about. Now we're putting them in locks. We're opening up the books of knowledge, okay? We're opening up intelligence, right? Applied knowledge is intelligence, right? So when you apply that knowledge, or excuse me, when you apply that intelligence, is wisdom, right? Did y'all already know that, right? Applied knowledge is intelligence. Intelligence used at the right time is wisdom, right? Okay, hold on. I went off track. My bad. Let's continue. Let's continue. All right. So we talked about discipline, right? If you don't have any discipline, then obviously you're not going to be able to be counted on, right? If your emotions run wild all the time, more than likely, people can't count on you, right? If the wrong thing keeps getting into you, we had the whole thing about, you know what I mean? Things getting into you. Your consistency won't be able to stand, right? Because how can you have consistency when things keep on getting you off track? You know what I'm saying? That's like if I tell you I'm streaming every day, right? And I stream today, but then I don't stream again until Friday, right? But I told you I stream every day. There's no consistency there. And I think, I'm not saying that my channel is growing super fast, right? But we are growing. We are growing. I'm not even an affiliate yet, and we already have 5 subscribers, right? I'm attributing this to the fact that I'm consistent. I said I was going to stream every day, and by George, every day I think I've streamed, right? Obviously, not the weekends, right? Not at night. But I have streamed consistently almost every day, which means that every day you can almost get a new video from me, right? Do I have other things that I could be doing? I do. I have a lot of other things I'm doing. We've talked about these things that I've been doing on the other streams, you know what I'm saying? So you know, it's not that I don't have nothing else to do. I got a lot of things to do. But I'm taking at least an hour to jump on here, talk to you guys, and try to help you to get to a sense of being a better version of yourself. That's why. That's why. Right? Because that builds your foundation, right? For people to, if you're consistent, if you're reliable, if people can count on you, then you have a solid foundation, right? Then you have a solid foundation. And as long as you have that solid foundation, then people can count on you, right? One of the other strings we had was, do you trust yourself, right? Because if you don't trust yourself, how can anybody else trust you? You know what I'm saying? Like, We're talking about being the best version of yourself. Whether your life makes people feel safe and they can actually rely on you. Because that's really what we're talking about here. You know, I'm I'm just sitting here like thinking, like, is there a place in my life that I've missed it? I'm pretty sure that I've probably been un countable uncountable a time or two, in certain situations. But that's not consistent for me. And so if I wasn't reliable in that situation, then I can more than likely give you the reason why I wasn't in that situation. Right? It was more than likely probably something out of my control. But if I didn't show up in that thing, then that's probably I more than likely have communicated it though, that I wouldn't do it. I can think of only one time in my life that I probably didn't. And that was I still haven't lived that down today because somebody keeps bringing it up, but there's that. But the point I'm getting at is that, yeah, that's the only time that I could even think that I didn't show up when somebody really needed me to. You know what I'm saying? Now it wasn't life or death, but for them it was a big thing. It was huge for them. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that if you want to be somebody to be counted on, it's not usually just one big thing, right, that makes them be able to count on you. That's not usually what it is. Usually, it's a bunch of little things, right? It's a bunch of little things over time, right? What are those little things? Those little things could be something as small, like, I don't want to call it small because it's not small, because we talked about it, it's huge, which is a lack of discipline, right? Lack of discipline, emotional instability, right? Poor planning, weak boundaries, people pleasing, fear of discomfort, you know what I'm saying? Not respecting people's time, the inconsistency, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to get all the reward, but none of the responsibility. Like, these are the things that I'm saying that people like, oh, I can't count on them. I can't count on them. They're just here for the money. You know what I'm saying? They're just here for the money. And that's the part that I'm saying, like, people will quietly not choose you, not count on you, not trust you, not want to be around you, won't come to your events, won't be around when you need them. That's why. And so sometimes if you're looking around and nobody else is around that you think that you should be able to count on, and they don't, look at yourself first, right? Look at yourself first, because were you putting them in a place where they don't want to choose you? They don't want to be counted for you, right? When I say for you, I mean on your side. They don't want to be in your corner. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be someone that people can count on, then you have to stop saying yes to things that you won't do. And we talked about that, right? If you know from the gate that you ain't gonna be able to do it, don't say yeah, just to give them lip service. You know what I'm saying? Don't say yeah. Say no. Right up front, bro. I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think that's not in my wheelhouse. Or I can do it, but I know I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I don't have the time to do it, right? Or you might say something like, you know what? Normally I would probably say yeah to do that, but right now I got so much going on. I just don't. I'm just not feeling it right now. You know what I'm saying? Or if you really just don't want to be a part of it, say, I don't think that type of thing is for me. I can do the thing, but I don't really want to be associated with that. Just be honest. Because that's really what it's coming to, right? Be honest about your capacity, right? And if you want to be somebody who's going to be able to be dependable, to be somebody that people can count on, then one of the major things that you might need to do is respect people's time, right? Just respect their time. You might even start off small. right? Start off small with some, let's have a routine meeting, just a little 15-minute meeting. We're gonna do that, once a week on so and so day, blah blah blah, and then make sure you show up every time, right? Every time. Lock it in on the calendar, make a reminder on your phone or whatever, and make sure you're always there and you're never late. Because now you're showing you're dependable. You're showing that you are a person that can be counted on even when you might not feel like it, right? Because if you say yes, you're going to do it, then do it. If something changed, communicate as soon as you know that something changed. Do not wait till the last minute. Do not wait till that meeting time and then you be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make the meeting. Or you wait until 30 minutes late after the meeting already should have started and you like, oh yeah, man, I ran into some hardship. Like, everybody's got a phone these days. Everybody's got email these days. Everybody's got text message. There's no reason why you couldn't reach out, right? Not a reason. And if your phone is, oh, my phone was dead, somebody else around you got a phone, call them. Somebody else around you got a charger, charge up the phone, at least to make the call, or at least to send a text. Yo, let's push that meeting to tomorrow. Let's push that meeting back about an hour. You know what I'm saying? Something. There's too many people around here with chargers, with little power bricks walking around their pocket. We got power everywhere. There's no reason why you can't communicate it. Okay? Because what you're trying to do is build a pattern that makes it easy to trust you. That's what it's about. If you can build that pattern to make it easy for people to trust you, you'll get more opportunity. You'll get more people that want to be a part of what you're doing. You'll get more people that are on your side when you need that help because you show up for them, right? A lot of times it's showing up when you ain't even asked to show up. You show up. You just feel like, okay, yeah, I can see they're going through something challenging. Let me just show up. Let me just drop in on them, check on them, right? Let me shoot this text, say what's up, right? See where they at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because only thing we're doing is the golden rule, right? Treating others how we want to be treated, meaning be the same person for them that you would like them to be for you if you were in their shoes, right? Be the same person when it's hard as the person that you have to be when it's easy, right? If you can lock that in, right? Like, the way that I communicate right now on this stream is the way I communicate in phone calls. If you talk to anybody who knows me, who talked to me on the phone or talk to me in person, this is how I communicate. I communicate this way. Bro, I'm always building somebody up. I'm always trying to lift people up. I'm always trying to give them a better way to understand something or to view something, because we all need to be empowered. Now, I'm not saying I go around there preaching at everybody, or I go around there, trying to come up with these things to be snazzy to say them or whatever. I don't do that. I just live life, and this is just what comes out of me, right? And I hope you can tell, because I'm not being any way. I'm really being my authentic self when I do this stream. Right? I'm not trying to like figure out some stick, you know what I'm saying? No, this is how I communicate. And as I'm talking through different things, this is what comes up. Right? Because even when I do this, it's all about being dependable for y'all, for me, right? I'm at this point, I put it to my mind that I'm going to be dependable for y'all. I'm going to show up for y'all, not just, with speeches, but with true desire for you to be a better version of yourself, right? Now, all this came about because I have been working on being the best version of myself, right? So if I'm working on it, then I know there's others that probably are trying to work on it. So I'm trying to create a community for people who want to work on being the best version of themselves. And they're asking themselves the same question, but yet they don't really have the nodes, right, of information that can be connected from one node to the next, right? That's how you process information. From one piece of information that you know to the next piece of information that you know, to the next piece of information that you know. And you're sending that data through that node pattern, right? And that's how you start connecting all these dots. That's how I start connecting all these dots. But I thought, if I'm not mistaken, that's how your brain works. right? You got a bunch of information in here in a bunch of different corners and pockets in your brain, right? A bunch of different crevices and as you hear something, as you take in things, and you're taking stuff through your input ports, right? Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your feelings, right? Your thoughts, all this stuff comes in, and now you have to process them. But the processing goes through the pattern of the nodes that you already have. So you have to connect dots to get out an answer, right? Is this something that'll hurt me? Is this something that is going to make me, lose money? Is this going to add value to my life? Is this something that's going to hurt my kids? Is this something that's going to, make my family unsafe? Is this something that's going to, put harm somewhere around me? Like you're going through these, and this is almost instantly that your brain is doing this, right? It's doing these calculations, and it spits you out an answer, and then that's how you respond. So if you can make those nodes process the information a little bit differently because your understanding now has changed about life or about value or about, your integrity or about, your priorities. Like if you can change the narrative of those nodes, right, reprogram those, then as information comes in, I don't have to tell you how to do it. It's the fact that now that you have new information, that you've recoded those thoughts or those processing pieces, and now it can give you a better evaluation of the problem, or excuse me, of how you should handle the problem, right? And so that's why I'm saying, like, all this information is needed, right? Because when people can see and know your value, then they don't have to guess at whether or not you're solid, whether or not they can count on you. And that puts you in a very strong position in their life. That puts you in a very influential position in their life, right? Because they know they can count on you. Because what we know is everybody wants to be picked. Everybody wants more. Everybody wants bigger opportunities. Everybody wants deeper love. Everybody wants deeper connections. Everybody wants more money, more responsibility. But all of that comes with the question of, can people count on you when it's time? Right? Because you have this, think about it as they have a nuclear what is it called? A nuclear power station in them. Okay? This is how you can think of it. They have a nuclear power station in them. In that nuclear power station, it is going supercritical. That's why they need to be able to count on you. Can you come in and stand up, even though you might get a little radiation on yourself, even though you might end up, with radiation burns and all that kind of stuff later? You may, right? You may end up having to pour water on them. You may end up having to make sure that they don't explode and go supercritical, right? You have to temper the issue for them or with them, right? And so you're coming in to help their nuclear reactor that is going supercritical. So it's on you to stand up, show up, and do what it takes for them to not go supercritical. That's a great way to put this one. Yeah. Because when it's time for them, and it's not like it even is gonna be something that is detrimental for you, right? It doesn't affect you. Whatever they're going through doesn't affect you. But can you show up for them and put yourself in a position of potentially losing your life to help them? Because that will tell you whether or not people can count on you, right? Because if you think about that whole Fukushima thing and the other one, the radioactive emergency, it might have affected them by way of their families, right? The Fukushima thing was a little bit different. that whole place was gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? So they had to get it under control. But that's how you can look at people's lives. Some people need that help. Some people need somebody to show up, right? Because at the end of that one, at the end of that, the Fukushima one, the days at the end of that show, the U.S. even showed up for them, right? One of the strongest allies ended up showing up with for them to help them get it under control. By then, all the local people, the people who it really would affect hardcore, they started showing up. You know what I mean? They started showing up. The fire department showed up because they needed more water. They needed to get it done. And so even though they weren't supposed to, they couldn't ask them for help, but they came and they was like, yo, this affects our family too. We coming. We gonna help. You know what I'm saying? That's being a person that can be counted on, right? Even when it's going down, even when you can end up losing your own life. I'm gonna show up because I believe that if we work together, neither one of us have to die today. Neither one of us have to lose our job. And neither one of us have to lose our business. Neither one of us have to lose our family. Right? If I show up for you, we both can come out of this thing together. So I'm gonna tell you this, that I don't know what the heck is going on with my camera today. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. I think we got through it. I think hopefully that this was good. I hope you guys have some additional understandings in reference to being solid, in reference to being a person that can be counted on. Please, 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 I'm asking you guys to go ahead and do that. Become a person that can be counted on. Put forth whatever effort you have to do to show up for the people in your life. Right? Show up for them. Don't leave them out there, by themselves. Don't have them out there on the plank by themselves. Show up for them. Be dependable. Be a person of your word. Make sure that you put forth your best effort to help them out. Right? Get them out of that situation. Because in the end, they'll choose you and they'll know that you're solid, that you're with them, that they can count on you. And if you're a father, you better show up for your kids. Show up for your kids. Because they need to know that you're dependable. They need to know that you are for them, that you want to see them win. They may be going through tough times, tough conversations that they have, and they learning new things, finding out new things about their body, and you need to be there. You need to be able to show up. They might not ask you, but just show up. When they want to talk, listen, show up. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to really get this topic because this means a lot to a lot of people. Show up for them. Be a person that can be counted on. All right. So we're going to call it. Hey, I thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for joining me. Thank you for putting forth the effort that you need to be able to put forth for you to become the best version of yourself. Right. This is Rich B's. You know who it is. You know what it is. You know what we do. Right. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow your mans. Rich B's, the real Rich B's. On these social medias right here. Rich B's on all the other ones. Make sure that you come back. Hey, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, but make sure you go to the Twitch because I really need you guys to get on this Twitch because we're going to be doing a lot of things and that's the only way you're going to see it live because I'm not going to keep it published afterwards. If it's anything other than this stream, it's not going to be where you can go back and watch it again later. Okay? You only get to see it live. If you're in the room, you get to see it. If you're in the chat, you can chat about it. But other than that, you're not going to be able to see it after that. So make sure that you join me. Follow and subscribe on Twitch. And I'm going to see y'all guys next time, right? Guys, genderless, right? I'm going to see y'all chat later. Thank you for joining me. All right. Rich B's.